as we discussed when we were talking about the 97, the Winchester 97, I said I was going to be waiting on parts. Well, the parts sure came in awfully quick, which is good. I mean, what I've got is I've got the ejector spring just right here, and I've got the left-sided extractor, which is right here. So let's take out the old ones and we'll compare them to the to what the new ones look like, and then we'll put them in. All right. So let's get started. So what I've done is there's nothing in the shotgun. There's the bolt head right there. The carrier is up, so I mean there's nothing in there. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in the cocked position. Now to take this out, there's only 2 screws and a pin to take the bolt out of this. Well, 3 screws and a pin. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the outside screws. There's a screw right there. That screw holds in this pin, which acts as the pivot for the carrier. And then there's this screw right here that we're going to take that out. So let me do that real quick. That's just a standard screw. This pin, the retaining screw, like I said, it goes right up here on the back next to the trigger. It's kind of long. It's long because it reaches down and it holds in that pin. There's the pin. It just kind of falls out. You say, well, gee, that's kind of rough that you'd have to worry about it falling out maybe while you're shooting or something, but you don't have to, because see this right here? You always want to make sure that's on the left side of the rifle of the shotgun, because that's where that screw comes down and it goes right in that groove and it holds it in place. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to hit the action release, and at the same time push down on the carrier, and the carrier just comes right out. Since we have it out, you can see where when I talked before about a round coming out. Let's see if I have a shotgun shell. I do. So what you have is your carrier comes out and your shotgun shell sits up on top of there, and then the bolt comes along and slides it into the chamber. There's grooves where the shotgun shell sits. The carrier also holds the trigger. There's the trigger. So it's not just like your 94 carrier. It's just a piece of metal that comes out. This has a lot going on with it also. Now, to get the bolt out, there's a screw right. Can you see it? There it is, right there. It's just a screw. There's a hook inside there that is connected to the bolt, that is important when your system is locking up and getting ready to fire. You have that hook that's sitting there. So I'm going to take that. Let's change out bits here. Use the right bit for the right screw. This is a long screw also. It goes all the way through the bolt, because the hook, just see that? Hopefully that's good enough. There we go. Okay. See, it's a long screw. It goes all the way through the bolt and attaches the hook to the side of the bolt. And now there's your hook. I'll show you how that works here, or how it goes in here. And here comes your bolt. Your bolt has two extractors. This extractor is, like I said, is the more traditional extractor. It's a hook. It grabs onto the end of the cartridge and pulls it out. See, that's awful hard in there. And this one is the left side extractor, which is the one that we're going to replace. And it's just shaped like a hand, kind of. See, and it just, what that does is it holds the cartridge up against the bolt head so that when you come down and it hits the spring, which will be replacing the spring too, when it hits the spring, it causes it to come flying out. The left-sided extractor is held in by a little pin. There's your pin. Damn, I hate when that happens. It's a good thing. That's why they don't hire Parkinson's people to work in dynamite factories. But anyway, I don't know. It's just a pin. It's just a pin. Now this pin goes in and comes out only one way. You can't put this pin in underneath. It doesn't fit in that hole. That hole is just for access for your punch, because it has to go back in through the top. And this thing just comes out there. It comes out. So this is the old one, and this is the new one. One of the things that I can see right away that could have been a problem with this, with the extraction process is, this is the old one, and you can see there's a little ridge there. It's supposed to be there, and what that does is it goes into the side of your receiver, and it helps keep the bolt straight coming in and out. It's not nearly as tall as the one on the new one. The other thing that I noticed is up here, it's all worn, and whereas this one here, you can see that it's well, it's not worn because it's new. So either one of those things could affect your the actual ejection from your firearm. So what this is a very easy way to put it back in is right here. There's a groove for that part, and you just put it in. Also, there's a you can see how straight that is. Look at how that's curved. That's a spring, and what that spring does is it helps hold the cartridge in by the use of your left-sided extractor. So with the spring, a better spring, I think it'll work a lot better also. So I'm going to put this in. It should fit right inside that hole. Now, one of the problems with working with older guns like this is that sometimes the parts just don't fit the way they're supposed to, because over the years things have happened, and Okay, we're going to put the left-sided extractor in now. Oh, I got a whole bunch of junk on my deal here. It was a little bit wide up here in this in the neck part here. I mean, it's an old gun. They're old parts or new parts for old guns, and sometimes they just don't quite fit. So you have to do a little bit of an adjustment. And I just had to file it a couple of times, and now it fits in there nice and snug. So you got over here, you get this groove here where the round part fits, and so you put that in, and you push it, and eventually what'll happen, if you hear a little snap, and now the extractor is sitting where it's supposed to. I'll take my shotgun shell, put it in there, hold it, and it comes out fairly easy, which is what it's supposed to do. So now I put the pin back in. Like I said, it has to go back in through the top. Okay, there it is. I'm just gonna hit it once or twice, make sure it's nice and flush, and there we go. And there we got our brand new left-sided extractors in. So I'm hoping that it'll make a big difference here for the for when it comes time to shoot this thing. So now we got to put the bolt back in again. I keep all old parts and stuff just to look at. Yeah, look at how straight that is. This is supposed to act as a spring like that, and if there's no spring to it, then obviously it doesn't work. So we get back out our receiver, and the first thing I'm going to do is put the bolt back in. Make sure the bolt goes back in the right way. That's where the hammer hits, and of course that's where the cartridge are. So it goes in through the back. Okay. The next thing you want to do is you want to put in that little hook. Now, get this back out. On this side of on the far side, or the left side of the bolt, you can see down here there's a recess, and the recess is for that hook, and that hook stays there, and it's used, like I said, during during all the movement that's used during firing. So we'll put this back in. This hook, I can't show it, but there's a place in the back there that you drop it down inside of, and it just slides in. With the bolt. I'm glad I can show it. Pull the bolt back some, and you put the hook in. It just drops down inside. There's a recess. There it is. Okay. I don't know if you can see it or not. I wish I had better lighting. But anyway, what you do is you drop it down, the bolt, and where I showed you where that little recess was, that's where you put the top part of the hook, and it goes in. Then you have your big long screw, and we'll leave all those jokes aside. because I have to be careful because I was a sailor for 21 years. And certain things trigger me to go back to being a sailor again. Okay, so the hook is attached. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to put this in. And this goes, see, there's where that pin fits inside. Right there. It goes up and down. So we're going to get this up inside so that the trigger is hanging out. What I usually do is I'll put the pin in first, then I'll put the retaining screw in, doing pretty good with the little screws today. Haven't lost any yet. Okay. There, that screws back in. And then you put this screw back in. Okay, so we got the bolt put back together again. Now on the side here, you see this screw right here. This is for that spring, for that ejection spring that we talked about. This is a very easy thing to replace. Take the screw out. And there's the spring. Let's compare the springs and see what we look like here. You can see where the new spring has a curve to it, whereas the old spring does not. Feeling up around here, up where the hole is for the screw, it feels bent. Feels a little bent. So what I'm going to do is we're going to just replace it with this one. Okay. I ought to just call this mudroom guns with Parkinson's. This thing is... Alright, like I said, I don't have any dummy rounds. I found a way to make them. I'm going to try making some dummy rounds, but for right now I have no dummy rounds. So we're going to have to do this with live fire, and it's only 20 after 6 in the morning, so I'm going to have to wait for at least another 2 or 3 hours anyway to go outside and test this out and see how it works. Hopefully it works better than it did. I'm fairly confident that we're going to see an improvement. But all right, well, I'll bring the computer outside when I go outside to shoot. Okay, let's see if this gives a try here. All 3 ejected. We're ready to go.